Hello, welcome, and we're going to finish up on the points that we were discussing earlier in the previous video. And we were discussing on the images and how you should have high quality images and video on your product on when selling on Amazon, and why that is very, very important. So we are going to on this point, I'm also going to stress that you should always fill up all the images slots that Amazon provides for your product when you're listing your product. This is because having a lot of images will help a customer really experience the product. For example, if you're selling a t-shirt, you should also having many images will help the customer see how the t-shirt looks from the front, from the side, from the back, from up, from down. If you're selling a tool, having multiple images will help a customer know how to use the tools, know various scenarios that tool can be applied, which will in turn increase the likelihood that customer will purchase that particular tool. So again, it's very necessary to have multiple images when selling your product on Amazon.com. So the next point is price, and you should always keep track of your pricing. You don't have to change it every now and then, but every once in a while, just visit it to see how your price, because your price can affect the number of people who purchase your product based on your competitors and other factors. And some people will go ahead and search for the highest price first. Some people will go ahead and search for the lowest price first. So again, you need to see what's your audience, what's your target customer. You need to ask yourself what would be a reasonable price for that particular item you're selling, depending again on the location of people who you want to target. So again, you need to be very careful of this, and you could also introduce variations if you want to have multiple pricing, which I'm going to speak about the parent-child products, which is the next point actually. But to conclude that point, that you should be very careful when you're setting your price. And we in the next video, we're also going to, in the coming videos, we're also going to speak in detail on pricing and how to determine the perfect price of your product. How do you determine the right price to list your item? Which can be helpful especially if you're listing your first item on Amazon.com. The next point is parent-child products, and so it's very important. This is very important if you have multiple variation of the same product. So like if you have the same product in various colors, in various types of variations, it's very important to list them as parent and child product. This is because it will help you have first of all, it will help you have more because the way Amazon groups these products is that if someone reviews a particular product, that review will apply to both the parent and child products. So that's why it's important to maximize your reviews using this principle if you have multiple variations or kinds of the same product or types. So using this option could be very helpful if you have these kinds of product, and not only will you maximize your reviews, you'll also maximize your views, because if someone views a particular product, he or she will also view all the other variations. It will be free to choose any other variations or any other kind that he or she wants. So you need to be able to do this. And again, not only will you maximize that, but you'll also It will also help in the ranking, compared to if you were to list those two products as two separate products. For example, if you had one product in blue and another one in green, instead of listing them as the same product, you could have easily chosen. You could have easily choose to list them as the same product instead of listing them as separate products. So again, that's all that I have to say about this. We're also going to discuss about this later, but this will be the best option in this scenario. Let us finish with time on page and bounce rate. So when this is the point that I was speaking earlier, and I said that I will update you on this. If you're running ads, for instance, and you're driving traffic from wherever you're driving it, whether it's social media or Google search or Bing search, whatever, and you're driving traffic to your product, having customers spend more time on that page is good for your ranking and for your product in general. So, and why is this? Amazon tracks. Now, the difference between Amazon and Google is that Google, I mean, people don't spend all their time on Google, but use Google to search for something and then be redirected to that particular website or the thing they were searching for. But the difference with Amazon is that everything happens within the platform. Many people go on Amazon and they search for something and they buy it. So the time on the page, for example, if someone searches for something and clicks on your products, Amazon will monitor the amount of time that person spent on your product. And for example, if someone spends like 2 seconds on the product and then clicks back or clicks on the another related product, Amazon, that particular action will affect your product negatively. But if someone spends enough time on your website, reads all the descriptions, reads the question and answers, reads the reviews, that will affect your product positively, because it will show that people have a true interest on your product. Because if someone doesn't have any interest on your product, he or she will just click away. So again, how do you make sure that you have a good time on page for every customer that visits there? Is that you include a good, attractive, descriptive pointers about the item section, description when it comes to your product. It has to be very, very detailed, and has to have all the important. It has to answer all the important questions. That's why it's also important to answer all the questions that any customer asks about your product, to ensure that you're monitoring your reviews, you're monitoring your both positive and negative reviews, and all these things are key to ensuring that customer spend enough time on a product. Another thing is that if you have good and high quality images, this will also very much help someone spend more time, because someone will spend time looking at images, looking at various scenarios which that tool or product can be used. For example, if you're selling let's say mole repeller, this mole snake, whatever repeller, and you suppose instead of just putting a picture of the mole repeller on Amazon, you could show where it can be used. Maybe one in the grass, another one in the rain, to show that it is waterproof. You see, now all these scenarios. Now that's why I also mentioned that you should always contact a professional for this, because now they could easily do that with Photoshop and create very, very high quality images for you to use on Amazon, and that will highly, highly, highly increase your conversion rate. I cannot overemphasize the importance of having high quality images. I've had this experience by myself, and I had one product. I had two products that were both advertised using the same, advertised to the same audience, using the same platform, using the same amount of cost, but one got results, the other got no results, literally. Why? Because the other one had high quality images, the other one had poor quality images, and they did the same function. They are both the same. They both did the same function. They both had the same function. So again, and yes, so thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and you can email us, visit our website, and we'll be in touch with you, and we'll continue sharing more and more ideas as we move on. We'll also create more and more videos that will be both helpful for whether you're a new seller or a professional seller. I've also mentioned Status Bros is a good website that you can also go to. There are also very, very great websites that you can go to and get more information on Amazon, selling Amazon, do your own research. And as I've said, use tools like this are very helpful. Autoresponders. Now the good thing about Managed by Search is that it does not only do autoresponding, it also does monitoring your stores, monitoring sales, monitoring products, all that stuff, and it can handle more marketplaces. For example, if you have multiple stores and stuff, it can do that, and they also have a trial option. So we're also going to be discussing more tools as we go, so stay with us. Thank you.